With indie animation growing ever more popular, it's becoming more and more likely that a show will find its footing here on YouTube. In fact, YouTube is such a good place for this because it limits the restrictions that a show has compared to big corporations, which do not do as well because they're too afraid to try anything. Too afraid to take a risk because if they take a risk, that could be the end. The beauty of YouTube is that YouTube is simply allowing a place for creators to have their visions be seen and heard. Are there some restrictions that come into play? Well, of course there are, but I would argue that they are much more fair than some of the restrictions television can hold. Now, why am I diving into the idea of indie animation? Well, personally, it is an idea that fascinates and inspires me since I personally want to create my own show one day. And with the idea of being able to do it on YouTube on the table, it means that I can be in control of a majority of the aspects instead of molding it in a certain way just because it makes some people uncomfortable. I'm looking at you, Cartoon Network. I will never forgive you for what you did to Steven Universe. That's a whole nother issue for a different video, though. The reason I bring this up is because a few weeks ago, future me will look up approximately how long and put it here. Whoops. Another pilot released here on YouTube. One that has people going bonkers. Why did I say it like that? In fact, in approximately 4 days, this video had gained over 10 million views. Now, don't quote me on that for sure, though, because I was not there for that, and only gave this pilot a watch as of yesterday, as of writing this script. And honestly, it's easy to see why this pilot is so damn popular after giving it a try. It's funny, has beautifully written characters, doesn't take itself too seriously, yet has this ominous mystery aspect to it. The part that I think people love about this show so far is the fact that they don't know what's going on. In a sense, the audience is no different than Pomni, who's the main character of the series, as we are thrown into the mess at the same time that she is. Now, there are going to be spoilers in this, as it is hard to talk about a singular episode without spoiling anything, so viewer discretion is advised here. I would suggest you go watch the pilot. It's only like 30 minutes if I remember correctly. It's definitely worth the watch. Now, before I dive too deep into anything, I want to go over the characters since they are so charming, and I am truly hoping for more of them in the future. First off, we have the main protagonist, Pomni, a human? I think they're all humans? I'm not sure. Who put on some sort of headset and was transported into a digital realm of sorts. Granted, this is how all of them got here, but I think it's interesting that they throw the audience into the same situation that Pomni is in the darkness, with no idea what's going on. From what I have gathered so far, Pomni is a little jittery and uncertain of what is going on, which is understandable. Honestly, it seems like this girl is only one bad news away from a mental breakdown. However, it is probably not fair to judge her on that in the first episode, as she's afraid and doesn't know what's going on. From what I could gather, though, she's a relatively kind soul who is just afraid. She wants to do the right thing, but fear sometimes stops her from doing so. Like when she left Ragatha alone. I will give her credit because she did try to help, but she ended up getting scared off by the glitching that happened to her hand. Also, she did go back for her after she escaped the abstraction, so I will give her that. Other than that, I really don't have a lot to go off of because the rest of her actions just seem fair for someone who is panicking and doesn't know what's going on. I'm interested to see where they take her character in the future. The next character I want to talk about, but perhaps not in as much depth because we don't have a lot of information on her, is Ribbons? Oh, Gangle. I wasn't even close. Whoops. Overall, I think she's cute, and I love the idea of them showing a character who's sad all the time, being hidden behind a happy mask, only for it to break and show her real self. I think she's adorable and hope for more from her, but honestly, I don't have too much of an opinion on her. Zubul is next. I can't tell their gender? Not that that's a bad thing, but I have no idea what pronouns they use, so... Okay, that didn't help. I don't know if they're non-binary or gender fluid, so I'm just gonna go with they, them to be safe. Also, I knew they weren't confined to gender the moment I saw them. Anyway, we don't see too much of them in this episode as they're torn apart and consumed, so yeah. From what we did see though, they were extremely... how do I put this? They didn't seem to give two shits about the world around them and had a rather general fuck you sort of vibe, if that makes sense. Once again, not too much to go off of, but I enjoy their energy so far. Next who I want to talk about is Kingler. He's just... I love him. He's so mentally not there, and I don't know, just something about him just speaks to me. I'm curious to know if he knows anything since he's been there the longest according to the other characters in the show, but we don't know much about this world except for the fact that they can't get out. Also, he's just genuinely funny to me.
Gotcha! Oh.
Like, this should not be funny, but it cracks me up. Anyway, I love him so much, and I'm excited to see what we're going to get with him in the future. Now, I'm sure most of you know who's coming next. Jax the Rabbit.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
I am very aware that this character is a fan favorite. It's easy to see why. With his lax personality and non-caring demeanor, he's a piece of shit, and the internet loves pieces of shits. Hey, I'm not judging. I'm in the same boat. Anyway, I just love the way this rabbit is animated and the way they handle his mouth. Please don't take that out of context. I can't explain it. I'm just a sucker for shitbags. It makes me wonder, first of all, why he's that way, and what causes him to act that way. Is this attitude towards others a mask? A mask for his fear or acceptance that they may never escape? It's hard to say, but I'm overall curious of what his actual feelings are. It's easy to hide something, but it isn't always easy to keep that hidden. And, he kind of sounds like Angel Dust, doesn't he? Anyway, I wanted to sort of pivot to the plot of this episode and perhaps go into a little more depth of Cain. I suppose I should summarize what we know so far. We start the episode with a song, presumably the opening to the show. However, during the middle of the song, it gets interrupted when our main character, who we later decide is named Pomni for the time being, is isekai'd into this digital world with no recollection of her name. Now, I'm trying to think back, but I don't know if they ever mentioned if they remember who they are, though. Like, they don't know their names and choose or are given a new one, but I don't know if they said if they lost all memories or not. Considering that Pomni tries to take off a headset that she had put on before and remembers doing so, I'm going to go with perhaps they remember their life but don't remember their names? I don't know why that is, but... And perhaps that fades over time as well. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, long story short, they're stuck in this world and have no way of escaping. Also, I want to point out that the exit door that is shown later on in the episode is actually shown here in the intro as well. I don't know why they did that. It's interesting to me that she didn't mention it, like, before that. Like, she mentions it after the tour, but she doesn't mention it before. Anyway, just a detail I'm curious about. Now, I want to talk about Cain. Cain is what appears to be dentures with eyeballs floating inside. Personally, I find the design so fun and it definitely fits him. Do you know what's fun and fits you? Hitting that like... Hitting that like and subscribe button. Lord help me. It helps keep these videos coming and genuinely makes me feel good to know that you're enjoying my content. Anyway, back to the video. Now, what is Cain? See, that's a pretty big question that has been bugging me. From what we know, Cain is some sort of deity or ruler of this realm. He can control what's going on, and from what we know, he has created everything that exists here. He immediately introduces himself as such and gives Pomni what he considers a tour. He shows her the circus, the other places I can't remember right now, and the void. The void is a big part of what this show is going for, and raises a lot of questions for us as the viewers to digest. What is the void? Well, it's nothingness, in a sense. Yet something rubs me the wrong way about it. Cain screams about spoilers when Pomni ventures out into the void, which we'll get into in a little bit here, but that makes me wonder if it's more than just nothingness. At the end of the episode, we see Pomni staring off into the void, as if seeing something that we, the audience, cannot see. What is going on out there? Is it anything at all? I wonder because I have seen many people talk about this, but none of them interpreted it the way that I did. A lot of them interpreted it as Pomni realizing she couldn't escape. But something about this scene, to me, it looks like she saw something. Like Cain showed her something. Or someone did. See, I can hear a lot of typing right now saying that Cain didn't want her out there, and to be fair, I agree. But that does make me wonder, who or what is Cain? He can control almost everything, but yet not everything. Is Cain the bad guy, or is there something else at play here? Going back to the point I made earlier, when Cain is giving Pomni the tour, the exit door shows up. Why would that show up if he didn't want it to? Isn't he in control? If Cain doesn't want Pomni to go into the void, then why does the exit door present itself to her? It's something that's been gnawing at my mind for a little bit, and I just can't bring any reason to it. Why does abstraction happen if Cain can control things? He can stop Ragatha from glitching, but he can't get rid of abstraction? Are abstraction the equivalent of bugs in a game? I couldn't tell you, I really don't know, and that's the beauty of this pilot. There is so much that we don't know, and all we can do is speculate and theorize about what is to come. All I can say is that I really don't want Cain to be the antagonist. It's possible and probable at this point in time, but a part of me feels like something is off. Like someone else is really pulling the strings. And I don't know if that is more or less scary. I fucking knew it! Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. It helps me stay motivated to continue videos like these in the future. I do plan on making a murder drones video, so make sure to hit that notification bell so you're notified when it comes out. I am so excited for it, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's gonna be a doozy. With that being said, please remember to have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe.